We are back with part 2. Let's get right back into it.
And he was a mess. And he was definitely one of the reasons why Billy wanted to get out of there so bad. Because Billy took did somebody came and scouted him early too, if I'm not correct. If I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, Billy also had a football career.
Yes, and he got injured.
Yes, injury is what ended that.
Yes,
back to the dangers of football, pros and cons. We talked about that a lot. But
because Corey was upset that Billy had gotten chosen because he felt like Corey, which is Spencer's real dad, guys. He had gotten upset.
Is this foreshadowing
about that's a good point. We won't spoil it for you guys.
We are gonna spoil it.
But yeah, he was really upset because he thought that Billy basically had took his place and done what he felt like he should have had as far as the football career, which is crazy. That's really crazy now that I think about it. Wow.
Right.
Interesting. Oh, but yeah, Billy's dad was trash. So
well, that's
he was so
racist.
mean. He was so mean. Yes, he was very, very racist. And he was so mean. He was very hard. And that does go back to what we were saying about the pressures of football or sports, because he was very, very hard and disciplined, and Billy had to be the best. He had to do the best, and if he didn't, he wasn't for it. It was like
he was getting them footballs thrown at him.
Oh my gosh. So I was watching this show. Dang, what was I watching the other day? Maybe that's what the deja vu is. Anyway, I was watching this show the other day. I wish I could remember what it was. And it was so crazy because the girl was racing, and her dad was like her coach or something like that. And it was on one of them one of them med shows, the medical shows. Anyway, so the girl was racing and her dad was her coach or whatever. And when she was winning, he would be yelling out on the field, like telling her, hurry up, get across that finish line or whatever. Do what it takes to get across the finish line. She was doing it, and she was winning. And she was winning. And then it was this one time that he didn't want her to have no friends. She was on a very strict diet. She couldn't, he was very, very strict.
This is child abuse, but continue.
And she, her friend, he finally let her have a friend that was on the racetrack, and they got closer than they should have. It was a girl. They got a little bit closer than what they should have as far as he was concerned. And she tried to share some chocolate with her or something like that. She was like, oh, no, I can't take this chocolate. It'll ruin my diet type of thing. And she was like, my dad would never, I wouldn't be able to do and perform the way that I'm supposed to or whatever. So, but then she went to go race. And because she had grown an attachment to the girl, when she went to go race, the girl had fell. So she turned around. I was like, oh. Girl, why did you?
You know what her father probably threw at her? Those little hurdle things.
No. No. So
that's the punishment from that one when you're in sports. Thrown at you.
So she went back to get her friend, and then she tried to hurry up and catch up. She was very close to coming back. The people were not that fast, but she didn't win. She came in second.
Even worse.
She came in
That's
second,
even worse.
and her
Did
dad
her father
came
go
over.
Joe Jackson on
Yo,
her?
he came over to the thing. I'm sorry.
Where are we?
Go ahead, girl.
Just got you riled up.
He came over to the track and was like, what is wrong with you? Like, oh, I'm sorry. It's just like, what is wrong with you? Why did you do that? Blah, blah. She was like, Dad, I came in second. He was like, you're a loser. You're a loser. Right?
Well.
So, yeah. If you're not
first, you're last.
Second place, first loser.
Yeah. So they were at the dinner table, right? And she was like, Dad, can I have some potatoes?
Oh, did he throw them at her? Nothing good happens at dinner tables.
Nothing good. So he act like she was totally invisible. So he passed the potatoes around the other way. She was on this side, and he passed the potatoes around this way to his wife. So she he ain't got her potatoes and then gave them all back, right? So then she asked again. So then he ignored her, and then he started talking to his son, whom he didn't have anything to do with, but now he ain't had no choice. He was like, I only talk to, he was like,
race.
He was like, I only talk to winners.
Wow.
I only talk to winners. He was like, and when he gonna say, and when you're not a winner, you're invisible to me. So when she heard that, she proceeded to reach over him and grab the potatoes, right? And try to put them, and he picked them up and threw them against the wall. I was like, this is treacherous. Like, you don't mess no mashed potatoes.
You was living for this drama. Look at you. You still living. You're not even in right now. You so excited about it. Living for the drama.
I just was like, wow. You guys really take this sports stuff really seriously. Like,
I think
get it together.
That's you.
You do take it very seriously.
If I was young and I played volleyball, you would be throwing volleyballs at me at the end of the game if my team did not win.
That is untrue.
True. You are definitely very, very competitive.
I am very competitive, and I will say that I have got a little rowdy at a couple of volleyball games, but I did not take it
all of them on
the child that I went to go see or when I was playing. Now, granted, you guys, this is a side note. I really could have been a volleyball player in the big leagues, but my anger messed my career up, and my coach took me off the floor.
Oh my goodness, they happened to be in basketball.
Monica, right?
It took me
basketball.
Took me off the floor when a scout was there.
Wow, literally Monica Wright.
Yeah, and I was very, very upset. And I was like, Coach, what's wrong with you? I ain't doing nothing.
Monica.
It's just
and it
tell her, stop that. You don't do that. Stop that.
It ruined my career, you guys. It ruined my career. It was the end of me. Like, I was heartbroken.
No, they let some girl foul me, and it was just like, this is a foul. And so when we started to play again, I went back and I intentionally fouled her, like a good one. And they was like, you can't do that. She didn't even have the ball. I said, I don't care. Y'all let her hit me. And they benched me for the rest of the game, and I didn't understand because I was taught restorative justice.
Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry, you guys.
They told me if somebody hit you, you hit them back.
I'm so sorry, guys.
And my coach was like, "We went over this. You can't do that." And I was like, "Well, you didn't go over it before this game." And that's how I got benched.
That's how I lost my career.
Yeah, it's true. And everybody keep asking, "Oh, you so tall. You play ball?" Just to bring that memory up.
Sorry, guys.
Wow. Sad music. I know. The end of my career. That's how it happened.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, guys. We just got so sidetracked. I'm so sorry.
Per the usual.
I know, but it, I really felt that in my heart.
The one I wanted to say about that whole thing is having Billy serve as a coach and a father to Jordan, that pressure that we saw them go through because he wanted to not be his dad so bad.
Oh, my God. Like, he was ignorant.
Billy wanted to not be his dad to Jordan. So he didn't want to pass that trauma onto his son. But
so he started going soft on him.
Yeah, but then you see Jordan go to seek out his grandfather to get that treatment. And I was like,
and I would not do that because it's like you only love my black side. You don't love my half white side.
That's the truth.
They talked about, it was another question. I was out surfing the webs, Michelle Obama's internet, and they were saying like there's a difference between being bigoted and having a preference. And of course, we all know what the preference is here. Preference is black love overall. But in the event that that's not where they choose to find love, we'll be accepting and understanding and realizing that this is what it is.
Yes.
Ideally, we already said what preference is. But, how, like, this has been years. These kids are what, 17? All these years you've missed out on their life because you can't respect their mother.
Right.
I just feel like
he's only seen them through a picture or two.
That's crazy to me. And to lose a relationship is like, okay.
Well, he lost the relationship with his son. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about that relationship. To lose that relationship, you didn't even prove your point because they didn't break up.
And I was kind of disappointed in Jordan for still going to. I mean, I know he was looking for this attention and everything. Oh, that's fine. But it's just like, I mean, at some point he found out that he did not like his mother because she was white, correct? Right. So it's just like, I don't know if I would have kept coming around.
I think at that point, I feel like at that point he was kind of doing it more to hurt his dad,
being spiteful,
than anything. And then he just started getting caught up in the fact because at that point, the grandfather was faking that he saw so much potential in Jordan, and I mean, like he was
that
laying it
grandfather
on.
was nasty.
Now that you think
Y'all
about it, right?
remember when he had Corey come up to that field to distract him?
Right. That's what I'm saying. He was playing it. He was playing it. And he the one that kind of, didn't he the one that kind of, like you said, stirring the pot.
Yeah, he dropped that bomb.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of the two of them.
Right.
From the photos, high school. But we didn't get into a very important, meaty part of the show: the gangs and the crime and Coop.
Oh, I know. It's so much
I
know it's so much to talk about this show, you guys.
It's her whole storyline. I think is timely, relevant,
yes,
and definitely necessary.
And I like her much better on here than Empire.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I wasn't sure at first I wasn't sure if they were going to introduce music with her. Like, I feel like she comes with music.
That's her thing, yeah.
Yeah. So I respect the way that I'm sorry, guys. I respect the way that they introduced it, and it wasn't just like this is an artist. Like, yeah, like it was the focus of it or whatever. So I respect it a whole lot more. And yeah, I actually do like her character. It's just so much about the show that I like. because I know you guys are like, oh, they keep talking, but it's just so much. It is a podcast, as we're supposed to do, right. But it's like so much about this show that like the meat parts of this show, because I mean we got depression that we need to talk about. We have
drug addiction.
And not only did Spencer have like a dad that wasn't around, but Layla, like she had her dad.
Yeah.
Wow, they had so many daddy issues on the show.
Yeah, Asher had dad and mom issues. Yeah, she wasn't there.
Then the pressure of Layla, coming out for Coop, for coming out for Coop.
Did, so she had a reason.
She came out to her mom and how the rejection was, and how the mom handled it, and how the father handled it, because he really ain't do too much about it, honestly. He really cared just the fact that he was her daughter. I mean, she was his daughter. But then we got pregnancy on the show and people lying about that. We have drug addiction on the show. We have
discrimination and racism,
classism. It's so many things that this show tackles.
Police brutality.
Oh yes, police brutality. Yes. I think they do a very, very good job of tackling all these things in a way that it doesn't feel rushed or forced.
Right.
It naturally happens. And the actors and the actresses are amazing. Visually stunning. I love watching it. Just the clarity and the crispness, the colors pop, the shots that they choose to take. I like that. And I feel like it's not so fast paced. Like they do the thing like at the end where they leave you with the teaser, but throughout they're solving things while they present more things. And I think I like that, because I've never left an episode where it's like the problems that had presented in this episode, I don't know where they're going.
Right.
That's important to me.
And we definitely got to talk about
Tyrone. You spoke on that nasty too.
Tyrone. Sure.
Something you spoke on earlier about like them not necessarily like showing all of this stuff before. I feel like in older shows, like black shows, were just meant to be like, I mean, we had good times, but that's like old. But black shows were meant to be like comedy and, you know, just like happy times. And, you know,
rest in peace, Janae DuBois.
What's that girl name? Vanessa, was it Vanessa that went to go see the Wretched and she got in trouble?
Big fun.
So yes, like, you know, we had parenting and things like that, but I feel like shows like this, it tackles issues, but in a way that we can still enjoy the show. And it's not just like all about struggle. Even shows like Blackish, they tackle issues all the time, but it's still entertaining. It's still, you know, good enough for me to want to watch and not feel like, oh God,
right.
It's like special all episode. Broke and we sitting in this one house,
like I want to come back. Like I want to come back next week to see what's going to happen,
because I think you need that balance of harsh reality and optimism, and a lot of shows don't do that well. Either you feel like I'm watching it, like as much as I love when they see us, it's giving me more of a reality. That's a lot to handle. With this, we have a situation that happens, and then we have optimism because we see him progressing in football,
Right.
or we see he has new opportunities, or the families come together at the end and it's like we
Right.
all gonna make it through. And with another show like that's dealing just in reality, it's like now we see that these men are grown and their lives have been changed forever and the system has screwed them over, and like
Right.
it's just when you don't have that balance, you either leave feeling defeated,
Right.
or you leave feeling angry. So I think this show does very well with trying to diffuse situations and also giving you hope that, you know, it'll be better. Like you said at the beginning, like, you know, sending your child away is difficult, but at the end of the series, we see it as something that can be positive.
Right.
We see the positivity through all of the situations that have happened. Gang violence, I mean, being in a gang included, we see how Coop goes to become a gang member. And even with Preach that y'all mentioned earlier, he's telling her, as a gang member, he's telling her, you don't want this life.
Right. Because she's not built for it.
There's people that are even in bad situations being good examples in spite of what they chose.
Right.
So like things like that. And I know that to be true, because a lot of people don't want you to enter the game if you don't have to.
Right.
So it's.
But yeah, I think like that, even with like Sean basically got in the gang because of his brother. And sometimes people don't have a choice but to, you know, basically take on the family business. Like we were talking about on the Shy with Reggie and his little ashy lip brother. What was his name? I can't remember his name with the locks.
Coogie.
No, not Coogie. That's Brandon's brother. Was Brandon's brother.
Brandon, not Brandy.
Yeah, I was going to say it too. But yeah, him. Jake.
Oh,
Jake.
yes, Jake.
So, like, sometimes I feel like you feel like that's your only way, or that's what you're being raised into. And I think when Spencer was there, he was a constant reminder for Coop, like, you don't have to have this life. You don't have to live this way.
Right.
But, and especially since, like, watching the show, we see that basically it was the three of them that started off, Sean, Coop, and Spencer. So you have Coop in the middle, who is just trying to figure her life out and just live her life. Spencer,
Scratching and surviving.
Child. Spencer, who is, he's a good kid, honestly.
Right.
And
he's
he
trying to live
just
a good life.
his atmosphere isn't the greatest, so he makes the best of it. And Sean, he's not necessarily a horrible person because we see his heart.
He has a heart.
He
throughout
just
the show.
succumbs to the environment.
Right, exactly. So he is like, he's on the opposite side of the spectrum of Spencer. Wow. And once Spencer leaves, it's like where Coop was like in the middle of it, she then gets pulled over into that. And it's like, well, I need them because
I'm still here. I'm not there with you. Like, I'm not a Beverly Hills.
Where that survivor's remorse kicks in.
Right.
Or
and that's why he kind of really feels like the pressure of Spence, meaning. That's why he really feels that pressure of constantly going back because between Coop and his brother, Dylan, you know, it's like, I can't leave them behind type of thing. And I'm like the words of wisdom as far as Coop. Like, they had this great relationship. And they fed off of each other. Like, they connected so well. It was crazy. Like, when either one of them were going through anything, they could always come to each other and kind of bounce it off of each other and get their head right, except for this. Because I feel like, and it's crazy because Coop says, you know, I feel like all of this happened because of me. And I kind of feel that way too, Coop.
Oh my God.
I mean, I do. Like,
it's not her fault.
It's not her fault.
You
it's
said
not
you feel
your
it
fault.
way,
But I kind of feel it. I'm saying it's
So
not her
then
fault,
you-
but I kind of
but you
feel
saying
it.
it's her fault.
what could she
then?
have done differently?
She didn't do anything. She didn't make Sean join the gang.
No, she didn't. I just feel like maybe if she would have made a better decision
Which one?
as for joining the gang. I feel like
She was still cool with Sean.
But they made her.
Yeah.
It pretty much made her do that. It was like, oh, your boy Spence not here
got no
now, huh?
protection.
You one of the boys now.
I just feel like it could have been another way.
So she should have. The only way it could have been different if she let Sean stay in the game.
And her mother hated her when she found out she was a lesbian.
That's true. So she ain't had nowhere to go. I mean, she stayed with
Exactly.
Spencer's mother, but as far as protection, she ain't had that. Your mother gonna throw you out in the street.
Her mother was
Now
really
you homeless and gay. It's crazy.
Oh, poor thing. Well, it happens.
to a lot of
That's
young
what you're saying.
LGBTQIA
It happens.
youth.
It happens.
I think I got all the letters.
They
Oof,
usually add a plus
that's-
at the end. Just
Plus.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I definitely don't know.
I wasn't telling you. Don't
Oh,
worry.
okay. But yeah, I just feel like honestly, like I feel like things started really going downhill once that happened, and I just felt like it was just an endless roller coaster of things connected. And I think that's why she feels that way. I'm being smart and facetious when I say it's your fault. We know it's not, but
Because if you blaming Coop for all this, then I'm definitely blaming Katie girl for Jack stuff. But
that's how we going to do.
No.
But I just feel like they kind of built on that, and it just things just escalated, and
But that's not her.
and now no.
Gang
I'm just
life
saying
is
she
a
feels
Pandora's
that
box.
it
You can never
definitely
get out of. That's what it
is. And then I like the fact that we didn't even get to talk about the shooting. But I like the fact because I went right there.
Yes.
Because I was trying to hit the chair. But I like the fact of he made such a valid point, meaning Spencer, when he was in the hospital, guys. He went to he got shot.
My goodness. I was about to call it a quinceañera, but that's not at all what it is.
Cotillion.
Yes, cotillion.
What was you going to call that?
Quinceañera.
Oh.
She's like, I don't know that word. A cotillion.
How do you not know what a quince is and you want to be
On my block.
abuela?
You want to be on our block and don't know what a quince is.
Hamal.
Oh.
That come out soon.
Oh my God. But anyway, he made this valid point, and I often wonder, do people say this like when they think they're on a deathbed or whatever? Like when he was in the hospital, he was kind of recouping, but I don't know if he was sure if he was gonna get all the way better. But he was very he wanted to see Coop, and he sent for her, and when she came in the room, he said to her, I don't want you all to what's the when you yeah, basically
his death, though, but
yeah, but like try to get back.
I don't want no gang war. Oh,
Yeah, he didn't want that gang because ultimately you knew that was what they were going to do, because he was like the neighborhood sweetheart, basically, that they were hoping that would get out and make the best of his life, and that was kind of like his protection, because in a lot of neighborhoods, especially nowadays, when they like when you get a good basketball player or football player, whatever they are in a neighborhood, it's like that's the hope of that neighborhood or that community. So it's almost like that's a no limit, like a
Flip said, I told you, man. Oh, and y'all know who Flip is. Lorenz Tate's brother. Said, I told you, man. The James family is off limits.
Yeah. So what we call it in the gang movie that we just watched? What they call it? When you can't touch the people.
Maid.
It's almost like they made a maid person.
Talking about the Godfather.
I don't think exactly, because that's not a movie. Don't go there.
Also renewed for season 2. Just so y'all know, we always pick winners.
I think
we did.
They were more so considered to be like a safe zone versus because in order to be a maid person, you got to be a part of the family, and it has to be a board meeting about it.
All right. I'll take the maid. But anyway, they were
like
they Switzerland. They Switzerland.
Yes, there you go. Like the playground.
Like the playground?
Yeah, the playground was supposed to be a safe zone. That's what the fight was about in season 1.
Yes, it sure was.
But yeah, I mean, that's just speaking to how violence begets violence.
Yeah.
And eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. All of that whole thing. But the thing about that situation, and it's so back to what I was saying about how there's that reality, but then there's optimism. So this whole season 1, we're so optimistic about Spencer being in Beverly Hills, being away from the violence, and then season 2, he gets shot because of Crenshaw being in Beverly Hills. So it's like, even when you go to get away, certain things you can't escape regardless. And then Olivia started a podcast. Shout out to her.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that she did that.
She started a podcast, and she was basically coming to the understanding that regardless of your privilege as a black person, there's certain things in life that you cannot escape.
Yeah, she started it after they went to that nasty white ice cream parlor or whatever kind of
it was ice cream
place it was, and this scared white woman.
What they call her? What's the people?
I forgot.
Becky something. Didn't they give her?
They gave her a nickname, but I can't remember what one.
No, but they related it to these people.
Barbecue.
Oh, Barbecue Becky
and
Permit Patty.
Yes. Spencer and Dylan had a. Now Dylan, if anybody need to get whipped,
yeah, his hind need to be whipped.
I hate that. He was disrespecting Spencer all because this boy's just out here trying to make a better life for himself. But such is life. When you have a vital part in someone's life and you go missing, however you do, it could get out of control.
I was great going missing. Did you see me get up?
Yes, I did. I saw you almost hit the floor.
Go ahead.
Which I think that show is canceled.
Yeah.
So don't cancel yourself. But Spencer and Dylan were having just a simple brotherly spat. And this scared white woman called the police on them. And that's when Olivia started her podcast.
Yeah, because the police came and it was just ridiculous. And it's always the guy from the neighborhood that then got on the police force.
Because you talking about Wu-Tang.
Right. It's always the guy from the neighborhood that get on the police force that you knew from school that was a bum in school, and now he trying to make himself great and be great and you greater, and he trying to be something that he ain't. And it made me so upset because he was a police officer now, so that he just thought that he could have this clout that he didn't really have, but because he was a police officer with a gun, basically he had all of the clout at that particular time. But then Billy rolled up and was like, I can have my wife, who's a lawyer, you know what I'm saying, like, let you know what's really popping. And he got a little upset or whatever, but he kind of let them go away. But it just contributes to the fact that mind your own business. Like,
oh my God.
because people can have, he clearly was stating, like, this is my little brother.
White women always, I don't think I told y'all this before, but some white women stole my grandmother when she was a baby off of a train, because my great-grandmother, my great-grandmother, she's maybe my complexion, maybe my complexion, maybe a little bit darker, and my grandmother is closer to Tranise's complexion. They said that this black woman holding this black baby, because the baby was darker than her, was not her baby. So they took it upon themselves to try to take a baby that also was not theirs. Well, I'm sorry, not also, because she was definitely my great-grandmother's baby.
Right.
But was absolutely not theirs.
Right.
They always are nosy. You're right.
Lindsay Lohan did that too. Got a lot of flack about it. That exact thing is what Lindsay Lohan did, though. But yeah, it's that notoriously they have been either a great ally or our worst enemy.
They're nosy. That's why they got them big noses, because they're so nosy.
Okay, this is
crazy. This is crazy. But you guys, listen.
Nosy.
You guys, we have so many other things to talk about with this show, and you just got to listen out for it so that you can find out some more details, because like we said, it's so juicy and it's so much good writing. And we asked for good writing, and you guys have delivered.
And this has been renewed for season 3. So CW
bravo.
was doing its thing. And I think this show has helped to bring up their stock, because I wasn't watching the CW like
I wasn't
that.
either.
I think back when the CW was UPN. Yes. Back when it was UPN, I was in there, loved it, whatever. Some of y'all wasn't even old enough to even know what UPN is. But for those of us that are, a lot of the great black great black series came on UPN. Then they switched to the CW, and I was like,
right.
And then like this past like influx of shows has been like white girl stuff and vampires and werewolves, and it was like a mermaid show, and I was like, I wasn't interested. So when this came out, I was like, wow, this really hit. And I think the story is great, the filming is amazing, the topics are timely, relevant, necessary. It's giving place to a lot of new faces that we have not seen. Taye Diggs is the older one. I want to say he's probably the most mature actor that we see in this entire series. And I'm not sure about Spencer, because he's British, I believe.
I should have known.
Yeah.
Not but I
it's been a takeover.
Yeah, it has definitely.
And with that, like, I know I'm tuning into the CW to watch this show specifically. So,
Yeah.
in addition to it being a great show, it's bringing more to the network. And I think they need to really do that. And again, I think this is a show that could have been on BET. All
y'all
the shows,
missed out.
I'm going to call
BET
them out
ruined stuff,
because
though.
they did. But I'm calling it out because I think that BET should have been shows that I think should be on BET are shows like this. Shows like this that deal with real situations, that deal with real life, that give us positive images and role models and allow us to learn how to deal with hard things in a positive way. Like, this is stuff that we should be doing.
You know, and it applies to, well, not applies to, but it depends on who your execs are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you all got to get cultured. And get the right people in there, you know, that are here not just for their community, but, you know, a roundabout community.
And also,
so.
one thing I do want to say, because I understand that finances are a big part of what shows you're able to get and to retain. I get that, but I'm saying that this sort of content is what they should be aiming for.
Right.
Like, this is what should be happening. I think we talked about this before when we discussed the Black Lady Sketch Show. Listen to that one. And I was saying that's a show that I felt like should be on BET. Black entertainment television should have these shows that are providing us with a different way, a positive way, a multifaceted way to view ourselves as Black people.
And, you know, you guys could always call on us. And
we don't want to be on BET.
No. I'm just saying.
I want to be on HBO, honestly.
No, call on us to let you guys know what shows
yes, we can be consultants.
are here for the community and just period. Because we can pick them. We've been right every time. And, you know, I'm here for us. So.
That's us picking them.
Yeah, we're doing a great job. So
clearly, I'm picking up because it's fruit and not down because it's not cotton.
Oh, yes. So, listen, you guys let us know how you all feel about this show because we will be talking about it again. So, get caught up.
For the finale.
Get caught up because this is a really good show, you guys. We're not just saying it because it's the Black show, but because it's well written and it's very good. So, email us and let us know at blackgirlbroadcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on social media on Instagram at blackgirl.broadcast_BGB, on Twitter at BLKGRL Broadcast, and on Facebook by searching Black Girl Broadcast.
And you can find us on your favorite podcast site. Just make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification button so that you can know when your favorite girls are popping up with a new episode.
Oh, yeah.
And the following day after we release our podcast episode, we will also be on YouTube so that you can practically just be in the studio with us.
Yeah. Felicia was talking to y'all show anyway, so.
That's true. That's so true. So on podcasts and on podcast sites and on YouTube, you can search Black Girl Broadcast. You could be able to find us.
So until next time. What do I want to say about this show?
Today, Junior.
I know. It's so hard because so many things like bouncing off my brain. Like, just if you feel like you could do better, go get better.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just felt like you just was, as more was coming out. I'll say, do what it takes to follow your dreams in spite of your obstacles.